Hey, welcome back. Dave Dubeau here, and today we're going to be talking about, are turnkey rental properties really a good investment? Where do they make sense? What are the pros? What are the cons? What do you have to look out for? And is this something that you should be doing? Stay tuned. So first of all, what is a turnkey rental property? Well, this is a property that you, as the investor, you buy it and it's ready to rent as is. In fact, in some cases, it might even come with a tenant already in the property. So you don't have to worry about renovations. You don't have to fix things up. You just buy the property and off you go to the races. So that sounds very, very appealing to a lot of people because you can get in without having to be a handy kind of person. You don't have to worry about managing contractors. You don't have to worry about coming up with all of the money for renovations and repairs and that kind of stuff. You just hit the ground running. Another big appeal with some turnkey properties is sometimes they come with professional property management already included in the deal. So a lot of these turnkey companies, what they do is they will find a distressed property, and then they've got the crews, they've got the contractors, they've got all the people needed to fix that property up, and then they turn around and they sell the property to you as the end buyer, the end investor, but they also include property management with the deal. So they'll find the tenants for you, install the tenants in the property, manage the property for you, charge you a fee for that, but you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So quite often, these kind of turnkey properties truly are turnkey because you don't need to do anything. You don't have to fix them up and you don't have to find tenants. You don't have to manage tenants. They take care of all of it for you. One of the other advantages quite often with these kind of turnkey properties, especially if you're working with a reputable company that does this, is that quite often they are in really appealing areas that attract top-notch tenants. And if they're good at property management, they're going to find you really good tenants, and you're going to be able to charge top rental dollar for these properties because they're in areas that people want to live. So that's another big advantage to a good turnkey rental property. So what are some of the downfalls to buying a turnkey rental? I mean, it sounds really appealing. You don't have to fix them up. They're ready to go. They're getting managed for you. But here's the challenge. A lot of the profit that's made in real estate, they say the money is made in the buy, right? So it's buying the property at the right price. If you're buying a turnkey property, you are paying full retail price for that property. The guy or the gal that's offering it as a turnkey, that's their business model. They're taking a property from a very low level, bringing it up to a higher level, selling it, and then managing that for you. And their business model is all around the difference in price, the amount of value they're able to pump into that property by doing the renovations and managing it. So it's kind of like the difference between wholesale and retail. If you want to get a smoking deal on a property, do not buy a turnkey property because you're going to be paying top dollar for it. So that ties in with the second big pitfall to these kind of turnkey properties is equity. So if you're not getting any deal on this property, then you're really not getting any instant equity in that deal. You're paying full retail value. So you're not able to go in there and negotiate, $10,000, $20,000 off the purchase price of the property like you might be able to do with a mom and pop home seller. You're paying full retail dollar for that property. But again, you got a lot fewer headaches because it's already set up and ready to go. Another pitfall to these kind of deals could be the property management. It could be the company that you're buying it from. So you have to be very, very careful about what kind of company you're buying these turnkey properties from. You want to make sure that number one, the property you're purchasing is in a good neighborhood, that you're not buying something in the hood. You're buying something in a good appealing neighborhood for a lot of renters in that area. Number two, you want to make sure that the quality of the workmanship that they've put into that property is good quality. It doesn't have to be, top of the line, over the top, super expensive stuff, but you want to make sure that they've done a good job of renovating and repairing that property. So I would recommend that you get a property inspection on the property before you buy it. And the other challenge is, what if they don't do a very good job of managing the property? I mean, think about it. At the end of the day, where they are making most of their money is they have bought it at a low price and sold it to you at a high price. That's where they make the majority of their money. Now, if they're doing the management for you, that's great, but what is their incentive to make sure that they keep bringing you top-notch tenants and they keep managing the property properly. That's a big challenge. So you want to make sure that whoever you're working with, you check them out with the Better Business Bureau, phone around, find some of their other customers, their other investors that have worked with them, find out what kind of a job do they do after the fact. Now, these turnkey properties can be a very good way of getting started with real estate investing or moving into a new market. It reminds me of a couple of clients of mine, Mike and Leanne. And these guys are Canadians, they're in Ontario, and they built up a pretty good portfolio on their own with single family homes and small multifamily properties. But they were getting tired of paying super high prices for properties in Canada when right across the border in Michigan, in Detroit, there were similar kind of properties for 1/4 of the price point, 1/4 of the price of what they buy the property from at home. So that's when they started looking at how can we start investing in the States as Canadians. And what they decided to do for their first couple of deals was to purchase turnkey properties. So they found a good, reputable turnkey company in Detroit. Actually, they didn't buy right in Detroit. It was in the surrounding areas, the suburbs of Detroit. And they bought 2 different properties from that company, and they're very, very happy with how things go. Now, they now understand they've got the team in place, they've got the corporate setup, they've got everything going. Now they don't need to go through turnkey providers. They can do their own deals now that they've got everything set up. But it was a good way for them to enter in that market in the first place. All right, so if you're looking at doing turnkey property deals, that's great. You're still probably going to have to come up with quite a bit of money for a down payment because, again, remember, you're going to be paying full retail price for that property. So if it's a revenue property, you're probably going to have to come with 20 to 30% for the down payment and qualify for the financing for that property. You might be able to do 1 or 2 that way, but sooner or later, you're going to hit that wall. You're going to run out of cash, you're going to run out of credit, and you're going to want to start looking at other people's money. How do you bring on a joint venture partner to do the deal with you? So your joint venture partner brings in the capital, you bring in the deal, and together you share in the profits. So if you're looking at doing that, I've got the solution for you. It's my book, and it's my process. I call it the Money Partner Formula. It's a formula for attracting investors and joint venture partners instead of chasing after them. In fact, this is going to show you how to find your next joint venture partner to do your next turnkey deal in as little as a few weeks and even raise 7 figures in a matter of months. You can get a free copy of the book. Just click on the link in the description below or go to my website, investorattractionbook.com, and get your copy today.